She disappeared from Dubai without a goodbye, leaving behind only a blood-stained watch and a note that read, "If time remembers me, he will return." 20 years later, the same watch began ticking again, on the wrist of a man who had been declared dead. The rain fell softly over the glass towers of Dubai, turning the city into a blur of silver lights and trembling reflections. Midnight wrapped itself around the skyline while the ocean whispered against the empty marina. In the highest penthouse of a silent tower, Fazza stood near the window wearing black silk, her fingers trembling around an old silver watch whose hands had stopped exactly at 2:17 a.m. That time haunted her. Not because someone died then, but because someone returned. For 20 years, the world believed Sheikh Zayed al-Rashid had vanished forever. Newspapers called it an accident. Some said betrayal. Others claimed he drowned somewhere beyond the Gulf during a storm. His body was never found. Only his watch surfaced beside the shore, covered in blood that belonged to no known person. And Fazza, she never spoke his name again. Until tonight. A sudden knock echoed through the penthouse. Her breath froze. Nobody visited her after midnight. Especially not on the anniversary of his disappearance. The knock came again. Slow. Heavy. Intentional. Fazza walked toward the door, her heartbeat louder than the thunder outside. The security cameras downstairs had shown no visitors. No elevators had moved. No guards had called. Yet someone stood outside her door. She opened it carefully. A tall man stood in the darkness wearing a black coat soaked with rain. His face remained hidden beneath shadows, but one thing immediately stole the air from her lungs. The silver watch. Ticking. 2:18 a.m. 1 minute after death. Her lips parted silently. No. She whispered. The man slowly lifted his head. Those eyes. The same dangerous gray eyes she once loved before the world buried him. "Miss me?" he asked softly. Fazza stepped backward as if reality itself had shattered. "You died. That's what they wanted you to believe." The room suddenly felt smaller. Colder. Her hands shook uncontrollably while memories flooded her mind like broken glass. 20 years ago, Sheikh Zayed was not only the heir of one of the most powerful royal bloodlines in the Middle East, he was a man hunted by people even governments feared. He possessed something far more valuable than wealth. A secret. One capable of destroying kingdoms. And Fazza had once been the only person who knew where it was hidden. Back then she was young, fearless, and dangerously curious. She met Zayn at a private masquerade beneath the golden lights of an underground palace near the desert. He danced with her once, and ruined her peace forever. He never smiled much. But when he did, it felt like the beginning of a war. "You shouldn't trust me," he told her that night. Fazza laughed softly. "Why?" "Because people close to me disappear." She should have walked away. Instead, she fell in love. The storm outside intensified as present and past collided inside her mind. Zayn stepped into the penthouse slowly, his movements calm, calculated like a ghost relearning how to breathe. "You look afraid," he said quietly. "You vanished for 20 years. I was buried alive." Silence. Even the rain seemed to stop for a second. Fazza stared at him carefully now. Small scars lined his hands. One crossed his throat. Another disappeared beneath his jawline. His eyes carried something darker than pain. "Survival." "What happened to you?" she whispered. "They betrayed me." "Who?" He looked directly at her. "Your husband." The words sliced through the room. Fazza's face lost color instantly. Her husband, Karim al-Saif, was now among the richest and most untouchable men in the Emirates. Powerful. Worshipped. Feared. He built empires from ashes after Zayn disappeared. And now Zayn had returned from the dead accusing him of murder. "You're lying," she said weakly. "I wish I was." Before she could speak again, every light inside the penthouse suddenly died. Darkness swallowed everything. Then a gunshot exploded downstairs. Fazza gasped. Another shot followed. Then screams. Zayn instantly grabbed her wrist and pulled her low beside the wall. "They found me." "Who found you?" But he didn't answer. Because footsteps were already climbing the stairs. Fast. Armed. Hunting. Zayn pulled a hidden knife from his coat while Fazza struggled to breathe. The penthouse doors downstairs burst open violently. Men in black tactical uniforms flooded the building. One voice echoed through the silence. "Kill the girl too." Fazza's blood turned cold. Zayn's eyes darkened instantly. "No one touches her." The next moments became chaos. Glass shattered. Bullets ripped through walls. Zayn moved like a man forged by darkness itself, fast, brutal, merciless. He fought as if death had already owned him once and no longer frightened him. One attacker crashed through a table. Another fell unconscious beside the stairs. Fazza hid behind the marble counter, trembling violently while gunfire echoed across the penthouse like thunder. Then she saw something horrifying. One of the attackers removed his mask. And beneath it, was Karim's personal bodyguard. Her husband knew. Her husband sent them. The truth hit harder than bullets. Karim hadn't saved her life all these years. He had imprisoned her inside a beautiful lie. Zayn grabbed her hand again. "We have to leave." "But where?" "There's something you need to see." They escaped through a hidden elevator leading beneath the tower into underground tunnels forgotten by the city itself. Old lights flickered above them while distant sirens echoed from far away. Fazza finally stopped walking. "You owe me answers." Zayn turned toward her slowly. You remember the night I disappeared? How could I forget? You gave me a key. Her heartbeat stopped. The key. A strange black key made of obsidian stone. She had hidden it years ago after his disappearance. Nobody knew. Not even Kareem. How do you know about that? She whispered. Because it doesn't open a door. He stepped closer. It opens a memory. The tunnel suddenly felt colder. What are you talking about? Zayn stared directly into her eyes. The secret everyone killed for, was never hidden in a vault. Then where is it? His expression softened for the first time in 20 years. In you. Fazza's breathing shattered. And suddenly, she remembered. Fragments. A hospital room. Blood on white sheets. Zayn whispering something while she cried. A syringe. Voices screaming. Then darkness. Her knees weakened. No. You forgot because they made you forget. Tears filled her eyes instantly. They erased your memory the night they tried killing us. Fazza stumbled backward against the tunnel wall while horrifying pieces returned one by one. She remembered Kareem standing beside her hospital bed afterward. Gentle. Caring. Lying. Always lying. You were never my enemy, Zayn whispered. You were the only thing I came back for. For the first time in years, Fazza cried. Not softly. Not gracefully. But like someone mourning every stolen year of her life. Above them, Dubai continued glowing beautifully, unaware that beneath its perfect skyline, ghosts were returning, empires were cracking, and a forgotten love story was preparing to burn the world down. And somewhere far away, inside a private palace lit entirely in gold, Kareem watched the security footage calmly. He smiled after seeing Zayn alive. Then he whispered something terrifying. So time finally brought you back. He picked up a phone. Begin phase 2.